Right, I actually wasn't going to make a video this week. Just to be honest, there's no cars here. I need to sell cars to make room for new cars. If I get new cars to play with before I get rid of old cars, I get told off. So the problem is that I don't like selling cars. I don't like dealing with people. So there's a bit of a stumbling block there. But I thought, since I've now got a new Patreon member, Kenny, I thought I'd better do something. So I figured I might as well do a Patreon only video, because I'm sure you'll watch any old crap, to be honest. It gave me a chance to try out the new camera. Check this shit out. That's all a bit weird, to be honest. Yeah, so today we're following on from yesterday, but as you went there yesterday, you probably don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Generally, it's just making room and fixing stuff, because there have been issues, mice issues. They do like to chew through things, which has killed the... I've got a surround sound speaker set up in here. The speaker on that side doesn't work anymore because they've eaten all the cable from it. There's CCTV cameras all around the outside as well. The one in that corner doesn't work because they've eaten through the cable as well. The DVR that the cameras were attached to just died for some reason. So still getting used to using this camera. So I've had to put a new one, a Rio Link something or other with 4 cameras. And yesterday I was fitting the one that looks out the front, because when this is all closed up, I've got a camera out the front. You know where to see it, but there's a little camera on the front of the house there, which is connected to a little noise-making little thing in here somewhere. So if somebody walks up to the front of the house, it sounds a little noise, and then I can actually look at the screen to see who's out there. So otherwise, every time it goes off, I have to stick my head out there to see if it is anyone interesting. It's usually the neighbour, to be honest. Today we're fitting... I'm not going to bother with the camera that was over in that corner. That's the one that failed. I'm not going to bother with that one because now I've got a ring camera at the front. There's a camera stuck on the back, so I don't really need one in that corner like I had before, but I probably will anyway. And there was also an internal camera. I might stick another internal camera over there since I've got spare cameras. I'm going to try and stop the mice getting actually into the loft, because currently they run along here, but actually inside the roof. I really don't understand how they even get up there, to be honest. So I've got, come on, expanding foam, but not just your standard expanding foam that you'd normally get. This is magic shit with guns. Am I allowed to say guns on YouTube? And we've got we've also got, when I was messing around in the loft, God, this following thing is a pain. Up there, messing around there yesterday because they chewed through the cable for the front ring camera. So I had to cut that off, and when I was messing around, the lights kept flickering. Not this sort of flickering like you see now, but actually flickering on and off, and then they failed. So I've had to buy another 15 metres of LED cable to run from the front to the back, across and then to the front again. But this time, because it's got a little on-off switch actually on the cable, I should be able to make the switch hang down a little bit so I can actually turn it off and on before and after getting out up in the loft, because at times I'd get up there, turn the light on, and then come back down, put the ladder up, and then realise the light's low and I have to get the ladder out again. It's just a pain. So we've got that to do. Oh, I've got a new welder. I'll show you that because there's 2 reasons I bought it. One, because it's orange, and secondly, because of the name, which made me laugh. I'm still not sure whether or not they did it on purpose. They must have done it on purpose. And finally, there's so much crap in here that it's just too big to do anything with. Like, normally I'd cut a few things up and stick it in the bin, but it's getting to the point where things are just so large that I might just have to get somebody in, like with a truck. I figure if I get it all in one space, I can take a photograph of it and send them a message. Then they can come and get it. Or at least give me a quote before I just set fire to it all in the back garden. Right, I worked out how to make the camera spin around. Check this out. Woo. Woo. Weird. Yeah, so like some of the things I've got to chuck out. The old front bumper for the #1. I've got just loads of bits of crap just laying around everywhere, including a box I'd used to use but no longer do. Alright, let me just show you this camera anyway. Yeah, they're good cameras, but the whole design's a little bit shit. You know, it's just a little bit floppy, a little bit. Yeah, it'd be nice to be able to tighten those down a little bit. And just got to sort the cables out. Might stick a little cable clip in there. Got to fill that up with something. And this end I've already taken the old camera down. It was in that corner there. Got the PoE LAN cable thing there. Another thing I've got to get rid of, old sheets of plastic and an old door that weighs about 150 kilos. And the other reason I want to tidy up slightly is because I've got several batteries going on down there. They're actually alright though. Hidden crap room. Winter tyres on winter wheels. Bunch of good tyres that I use for the Smart. Good tyres on 451 wheels by the look of it. But on this side, it's a lot of the big crap that I couldn't really get rid of because it was too big, like crash bar, broken plastics and knackered dashboard. Internal door skin for a 450, 451 ED wheels. There's the old #1 wheels. More wheels, more wheels, more wheels. Ow, ow. God, there's a lot of those thorns and shit down there as well. Oh, and stingies. I don't get stung, so I get angry. Knackered bonnet. It's just a bit of a dumping ground. There's some roads to spark lines. 2 bikes. Yeah, they've literally been there for about like 5 or 6 years. More bits of Smart in the background, so get off. Be nice to be able to clear some of the shit out because it's just a little bit unnecessary. Oh, there's even side skirts in there. Somebody's asking about those. Oh yeah, an old stick welder from around the Jesus Christ era. That is going to be fully dead. Oh, another battery, good. God, it's hot out there as well. Don't really do the hot. Okay, up in the loft. Welcome to the loft. It's like a fucking oven up here. And the camera actually does quite a good job of making it look bright. But it's not. This was the lighting cable, LED strip stuff that I had up before. And to be fair, it's done well. It's been up here 6 years, I'd say. It's been alright. But then they just have like a push-in connector with like 2 prongs that go in either side. And it was fanning around a little bit, so I pulled it out and tried to rejig it, and it looked like the pins had corroded slightly because they both snapped off. I tried to pull it off to wire it in directly, but I thought that's such a lot of mucking around that I thought I might as well just whip it all out and replace it with something else. But now I'm regretting that decision because there's a lot of shit in the way. This might get fast forwarded. there's a lot of mouse poo up here. I've got to put gloves on. When getting up in the loft to fit lights, it's always good to bring the lights with you. Yeah, as you can see, that's the AC/DC converter, and we've actually got on the off switch. Whereas before, I just unplug the plug and plug it back in again, which is a bit of a ball ache, to be honest. Bright, not so bright. I have the switch hanging down like there. The existing clips are a bit overkill, to be honest, because they're for large twin and earth cable, but they seem to work all right. I figured because of the excess, I might as well fit the new one as I'm removing the old one, otherwise I'm going around twice. Actually, I want knee pads. I don't know if you can actually see anything that's going on, because I fucking can't. I know that these cameras do a good job of dark spaces, but I can tell you now, I can't see a fucking thing. I can feel these spider webs. Restored. Now, did I mention that it's hot up here? Look how shiny I am. I seem to be urinating from my face. The light strip is 15 metres long, because the workshop is 7 by 8 metres, and obviously I'm going to go right to the end, so I've got 15 metres, enough to go up, along, back, across and right across, and have that much left over. That's a nice start. I'll just fit the switch there, I can reach up and get to it. Man, it's hot. I mean, it's not as hot down here, but it's still ridiculously hot. Right, messy time. Pew, 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 pew. These cans that work upside down are so much better than the cans that you hold that way up with a little squirty thing. But the problem is, that is what, 18, 19 inches, 20 inches. So actually getting into places is pretty tricky. So another alternative is just put a bit of a hose or something on the end of it, so you can put the hose actually into where you're going, and then spray it all in, and stop when you realise it's pouring out the other side and turning into a giant mushroom. So I should at least read the instructions to make sure everything's going to work properly, because this stuff is horrible to work with and horrible to clean up. Right, the gun is constructed. I always thought that when you'd finished, you'd have to take off and clean it out, but it says if you haven't finished the can, just leave it on there. So we're going to be going up in that gap there, and that gap in there, I think. Maybe up some there. But I'll do what I can down on the ground floor, getting up in the oven. Have you ever done one of those jobs where as soon as you start, you know you fucked up? Well, that's the problem with expanding foam. When you're doing somewhere you can't see, all the time you can't see it, that's probably enough. As soon as you can see it, it's too much. So that has only just been sprayed in. And I stopped when it appeared. That is going to look like a fucking wasp nest by the time it's finished. Hopefully, it will stop the mice from getting down there. The gun cleaned up all right. It was a bit awkward getting in there, but it fired it out like a fucking water pistol. It was great. So thankfully, I think that's all the job's done up there, apart from taking a few of these boxes out. Might fit a few more cameras, and then start creating a massive shit to chuck away next weekend, I think. Yeah, but even if the mice still manage to get into the loft, I've got the camera up there, so it tells me when there's any movement. Sometimes it's spiders that set the camera off. If mice are still getting up there and I've blocked off the 4 corners, what I'll do, I've got some UV powder. It's like a really, really fine powder that glows really bright under UV light. And you create a little wall around some food, and they obviously get it on themselves as they cross it to get to the food. And then as they walk off, you can actually give it a while, because they generally run the same tracks every time. And when you get up there with the UV torch, you can actually see the lines where they go, and whatever hole they go through will be illuminated like a bright colour. So if I see them up there again, we'll do that. And also, before we get away from this subject, expanding foam. So it's one of those things you get on something and it's just an absolute nightmare. I remember getting on my skin, and I tried brake cleaner and that sort of stuff, didn't really work. So I've got the foam gun cleaner, and it's acetone. It's just straight up acetone. Danger contains acetone. All right. I mean, you can buy litres and litres of acetone much cheaper than that, but obviously you haven't got the correct connector to clean the gun. Yeah, I tracked the lid down somewhere, I can't find it. So I thought, oh, there's a little lid that goes on there, so I pushed it on and sprayed myself in the face, because it's actually, if you can see that, it's got a little spray nozzle in it. So brilliant, what an idea. As a side project, one of the specialist tools, you need 4 of those, 2 long, 2 short. And these are for dropping the engine cradle on the 450, 451 roadster, that sort of stuff. But smart are a little bit funny about who buys these. I mean, I bought them because I'm a specialist, so they were fine about it. But Member Republic goes in and asks to buy a set of engine drop bolts. They're always a little bit funny about it. Had a little look around, found a company called BGS, who make a copy version of it. But then BGS stopped selling them. So I thought, well, I better start making my own then. The issue being that this particular thread size is actually quite hard to get in this particular size thread. So the pitch is odd. Luckily enough, I managed to find a place only a little bit down the road from me, about 10-minute drive, that stocked it. Obviously got the nuts, because that was a standard bolt, so as you can't get bolts in that sort of length, they're about a foot long. I put that on there, cut it to length. If I weld it in place, that essentially becomes a really long bolt. Now, it's not a major problem that it's threaded all the way along. And obviously got the matching washers as well. Which leads me on to the welder. Now, if you know me, yes, I bought it because it's orange. I will favour something orange over something else. Now, the name, right? Now that logo, that's an S. So you'd think that the company who actually makes it would begin with an S. And if it wasn't, you'd be very careful about what you'd call the particular product. S Hitbox. Obviously it's not a shitbox, because it's actually quite a good welder. It's quite expensive, but I mean, shitbox, what were they thinking? Did they do it on purpose? Like, the fact that the logo is at the top, you think, well, yeah, obviously Shenzhen. So it's by far not the weirdest name I've ever heard of for anything. But if you go to their website, try that Hitbox World, right at the top of the website, that logo is right next to that, and it purposely spells shitbox. I'm sure it does. So fair play for the joke, because that's exactly what I'd have done. But yeah, nice. It's got 3 knobs, which is about correct. New to me anyway, I didn't realise. Eurotorch, there's such thing as a Eurotorch, where it all comes in. It's got different connections and shit. It's fucking magic. I've done a bit of welding before. I wouldn't say I'm good at it, but I've done it. And the things I've welded haven't broken yet, so it's always a start. Well, I suppose we better get on to fitting the CCTV cameras. These ones are PoE, which is power over Ethernet. So it's just a standard Ethernet cable. Although to be fair, for the, I think it was like 399 something for the Rio Link ones. I mean, the quality of the image is really good. It's supposed to be 4K, but my TV isn't actually 4K, so it's a bit of a lost cause there. But everything seems a bit cheap. Hang on a second. Yeah, sorry, it's a slight distraction. I could hear things falling down over here, and remember I said, when you do something and you immediately know something's going to go wrong. Well, now all of the expanding foam is escaping, and it's not ideal because it's dropping on the Tesla Powerwalls. I'm not quite sure what to do apart from just leave something there to catch the crap as it falls down. And what have I got that I can put down that will catch it? Hang on. Instructions. Yeah, so the actual quality of the picture is good, and the box seems okay. I'm not quite sure how good the drive is inside of it, but then my previous DVR that was recording 24/7 was using a drive that I put in it, and it was only up for maybe 18 months, and then it came up with cannot reach disk drive or something. I thought, oh god, it was probably that crap one I put in there. They say that certain disk drives are designed to be read on continuously, but it was a proper Western Digital purple surveillance hard drive. So I have to stick that in a little enclosure and see what's wrong with that, because I'd be surprised if that is the issue. Yeah, so it's it seems good and it sets up easily enough, but these cables are just cheap shit. They'll work. They're obviously not designed for massive data. They're not carrying much power for the things. Still follow me around. I need to be able to get it so all this wiring's inside. Even though they make it waterproof, obviously the less that's in the elements, the better. I've marked the mounting plate. Stand by. Wait a minute. Don't panic. I wonder if the camera does panic if it can't find you. I wonder if it's looking over in this direction, pining. Is it still looking over this way? No, it hasn't. Oh yeah. Oh no. Hello? It's me. I'm an idiot. Yeah, you have to drill a 20mm hole to get everything through. That's blocking it up quite nice at the moment. Might stick a bit of something around it. Just to stop ants and stuff getting in the way. Right, this was the cable that I put out yesterday. Do yourself a favour by working out exactly where they're going to be and then buying decent cables of as close to the right length as possible. That's better. There's a horse. Look. And that horse is actually there. It's a real horse. I think it isn't real. It's that time. Alright, I'm just going to repeat it for... Don't need another one on the outside. Because what we've been looking through is that one there. We've got a proper ring camera up there. And exactly the same ring camera on the back. So really they're only for the ability for me to see what's going on if I've got this closed. Because in the summer and winter normally I keep that closed, and then I've either got that thing over there right in the centre there, heater air conditioning. So if it's cold, it's much easier to heat this place up when that door's closed. So it's handy to be able to see in the garden. Sometimes the girlfriend's out there fanning around doing something or other. What I'll do now is I'll place another two inside here to protect inside. Not to actually see me, although it can be handy because the amount of times I've put tools down or taken something off a car and then lost it, I can at least then go back through the CCTV and actually work out where the hell I've put everything. But mainly it's just so if anyone does break in, hopefully they won't, there'll be camera footage of what they've done. That does involve getting the loft again. This I'll just run the cable over the top like I did before, but the far corner, I'll have to run it, well at least the cable would be long enough. I'll have to run the cable all the way along there, all the way along there, and then into that one. Man, I'm fucking beat. It is warm. Right, so I finished putting the cameras up. I did put one over this way, there's one up there. And I didn't actually bother putting up one in that corner because it sort of covers most of the shop, that one up there. So I figured I might as well put the one that I had before up in that corner, because that means when I'm here and I hear the Ring doorbell make a noise, it's not always somebody at the door. It could be my girlfriend driving in, so that way I can see the rest of the driveway, so I can see if it's her or not. I've got it all set up, had a little mess around, and that's handy to be able to do that because that's the one I mainly want to look at. But then you've got little tiny ones. There's me looking at me. Hang on. There's you looking at me, watching. I don't really know. And then there's the new one. And what I've done is the shelf that it's on, I put in a bit of cardboard. There's all wires sort of coming down. And obviously if anyone breaks in there, if I leave it on that one, like full screen that one, they know they're being recorded, they might run. And if they can't see that light blinking, then that's good, and I can still lift it up, get to the mouse and change anything, which makes it look a bit more presentable. So I think the only thing left to do now is to listen to some more music and fill this up with crap to be collected next weekend, I suppose. Hot. I think it's time to give up. It is 4 o'clock. Decided not to put all the shit in here because a lot of it had ants in it. So, old welder, some old boxes, just random shit. Out here, hat stand, coat stand, whatever. We're keeping that. There's nothing wrong with that. There you go, all this shit. 2 bikes, 451 roof, lots of smashed up 451 plastic panels. Our barbecue never got used, and crappy bit of Bosch. And these tarpaulins that always seem to, they live for about a year and then turn to dust. So now that's all cleared, we can actually get through here. It's nice. So we've got all the wheels as before. The air conditioning can breathe. The IBC collects rainwater. So now all I've got to do is just get a company to come and pick it up next week. Probably next weekend, I suppose. But yeah, now that is it. It is. I've got stabby things in my. It's all stabby things in my shoes. Ow. Ow. So yeah. Next time. Laters.